If you were in a position of Prime Minister, how will you handle current migration crisis of refugees?
Well, if I was the Prime Minister, which I wish I were, I think what I would have done more according to the refugees, because this is vulnerable people and they have flee from war, they have flee from the government. They are so traumatized when they enter this country. They don't have any experience about the culture of Britain. They don't know what is awaiting for them. So as the Prime Minister, I would make provision for these people so that they can be treated first come first, first service, to give them the best service that we can, helping them, maybe providing them the best help that we can, and also introduce the community to them so that they can know that these people really need support from the British government. As the Prime Minister, I think I would have done that to help them.
Do you think overall providing asylum for refugees had positive or negative effects on British society?
No, I don't think so, because asylum seekers and refugees have done so much for the British society. Because if I look at Marks and Spencer, it was been open. So many businesses has opened from refugees. And also that the Queen's husband, King Philip, he is also a refugee when he comes here. And so I think the society in Britain knows how to treat refugees and asylum seekers, because they are supportive and they contribute to the economy. So I think the refugees actually is the people that has the most businesses, because they are coming from India, Pakistan, and they have so many shops, all the curries and all that beautiful things that is happening, and the cultural, and then you can think of Chinatown, of the Chinese, so, and then you can think also of Jamaicans. They also have their cultural festivals, Brazilian festivals, so, and Refugee Week, and I think it is just beautiful how, so I don't think that migration can be a problem for the society. They just love the refugees and asylum seekers. It is just the government that needs to change their own tune.
Sophia, please, could you tell me where do you come from?
Well, I was born in South Africa, but then I moved at a young age to Zimbabwe, and because I was living with white farmers on a farm, the Mugabe regime actually come and kill white farmers. So that is why I find myself, I had to flee, left Zimbabwe and come to the UK. And now currently we can see the condition, what is happening now with Robert Mugabe, who have to stand up, and they are talking about the coup and all that. So that is why I am so interested in working with refugees and asylum seekers, because of my own background.
Has migration increased over the last 30 years?
Absolutely, it has. It has increased a lot, because if I look back, when I come to the UK in 2006, 11 years ago, there was not so much, EEA people. I have not met so many of them like now. You can see they are from all over Europe, because I can say it has increased. It is definitely a big thing.
What is the current situation with migration in the UK?
Oh, Brexit. Brexit is the town of the talk in the UK currently, because everybody is worried now that Britain has left the EU. They are worried, especially the EEA citizens. They are worried, will they stay here or will they take them back? And I think asylum seekers and refugees also want to know, is it going to affect them?
Okay. Do you think public services such as NHS, housing or schools have been put under considerably more pressure due to increase of migration?
Yes, of course, because now what happened, housing providers and the NHS, the Home Office has given them now like a law that they have to ask asylum seekers or refugees or whoever is coming to be treated. They are sick, those people are sick, but now the nurses, the doctors hand, whoever is working in the hospital have to ask them their identification. And I think so many asylum seekers has now got so many big bill from the hospital because the nurses didn't know the difference between the asylum seeker and an economic migrant. So I am struggling now to sort this out because the asylum seekers who comes recently, maybe from Syria, they got bills because they just claim recently asylum, so they don't have a HC2 form. That is a form that they get help for free NHS support, which now because they don't have that to show, so one lady ended up a few days, she was in hospital, she get a bill over £8,000, so I have to sort that out with migrant help and the home office. So there is a major problem, and the housing providers cannot give you accommodation because they have to do checks on you, which I think this is very, very appalling because it is unacceptable that the home office now give their work for those people who actually needs to provide for people to look after people, not to interrogate people with the home office questions. It is unacceptable.
Claims that a recent rise in terrorism in Britain is directly a result of British lenience towards granting asylum for refugees. What is your opinion on this?
Well, my opinion is, well, I cannot talk for anybody, but according to myself, what actually happened recently in Manchester about the bombs, the terrorism, and the evening, Manchester evening at the Victoria Station, which I think that has effect also on MRSN who works with refugees, because what actually happened through that bombing, there was this kind of rumor or claims that it was for Libyans who live in Mossad. So then they come and interrogate MRSN to find out, did we help Libyans? Which since I work here, I don't know anything that we help Libyans, but I think that shouldn't be the case. They shouldn't look down on asylum seekers or refugees and thinking that they are terrorists, because currently what happened, UK has opened their borders for anybody to come inside, and through that gate many terrorists can come through, because nobody knows how a terrorist looks. It is not on your face to tell you, I'm a terrorist, take me when you arrive at the airport. At the airport, so many people come in, and this is now the problem of the government, that they shouldn't put it on refugees, because the person come through the airport and he claim asylum, and you don't even know this is a trained terrorist that has to come in and claim asylum. So I don't think this is something that they should have blame refugees or asylum seekers.
Okay. How do the media portray asylum seekers and refugees in the United Kingdom?
Very, very, very interesting. I like that question. What I can say, the media for me has just destroyed us. They have really destroyed migrants and immigrants and refugees and asylum seekers with all the bad stories that is not true. What they was writing about the refugees, they don't even know a refugee. Have they ever come across a refugee? Because what I said, when people come here and they claim asylum, these people, some people might be professionals. It might be teachers, it might be doctors, it might be nurses, because of what happened, as you can see in Zimbabwe now, right now, what happened in Syria. So professionals is also coming. They also flee from the country to be safe from whatever terror is happening in their country. So that is why they come here to the UK, and due to that, people is just coming, the media is coming and said, oh, they are coming here for benefits. We don't even know about any benefits. Asylum seekers that comes from Africa or from Asia, there is no benefit system in Africa. So how on earth can you just come and label people without even trying to make friends with their people? Because I also were an ex-asylum seeker, and I am one of those that is a professional one. So somebody who don't know me can never say I'm an asylum seeker until I open my mouth. So how can they now make the difference? I'm very, very upset with the media. I think the media should try to change and put something positive about the refugees and all the work that we have done over the years And we contribute so significantly in this country with volunteering. If I can tell you how many asylum seekers and refugees volunteer for Britain, how much money is that? Unpaid money that we have done in this country. I have volunteered for 9 years before I got my papers because I was 9 years in limbo. And I don't think the media can even write about these nice things about what we have contributed to the economy.
How is the Brexit likely to affect refugees resettlement in the UK?
Well, Brexit is actually more about the EEA citizens. Asylum seekers and refugees is obviously not EU citizens. They cannot, I don't think it can affect them. It is likely that it can affect them unless they are maybe married to an EU citizen or they have to, how can I say, I don't think that Brexit is affecting, no, Brexit is nothing to do with asylum seekers and refugees because before Brexit, there was refugees and asylum seekers. So after Brexit is gone, it will not have an effect on us. Maybe there will be more jobs now. I am not sure. I hope so.
You hope so?
Yes, I hope so.
Thank you very much, Sophia, for the interview.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.